on. Is that possible? There is. There is one thing that everyone agreed on, whether you went medical, whether you went natural, whether you went with the jab, whether you did not go with the jab, there is one thing everyone agreed on, that we need to boost the immune system. Yeah? Now, if someone said to you, can you please explain to me what your immune system is, could you? They throw around this word, immune system, and it always intrigues me. Well, what is the immune system? So we look at the body, what an incredible body we live in, and our first line of defense is actually our skin. Our skin acts as a protection, holds us together, it breathes, so be careful what you put on it. It absorbs, so be doubly careful what you put on it. Throws off waste. What an incredible organ is the skin. But let's go to the head, and you'll see 7 holes in the head. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, and a mouth. And if we have a look at all those orifices, there are some amazing systems in them to protect. Let's start with the ear. With the ear, you've got your eardrum, and your eardrum protects the ear from any foreign object going in. But you've also got little hairs, and you've got a little bit of wax that can also trap. So there's a wonderful line of defense in the ear. There are no earbuds in my home. What do you call them? Tips?
Q-tips.
Q-tips. There are no Q-tips in my home because they should never ever go in the ear. So how do you clear your ears out? When the shower's coming hard and fast, let it sprinkle into your ear. That's an easy way to do it. For some people whose ears seem to block up quite quickly, they can put some hydrogen peroxide in their ear and it bubbles it all up, or hot coconut, but never put anything in there. There was one little boy, he was watching his parents clean their ears out, clean his out. So he's walking around one day with 2 sticking out of his ears. One out of this ear, one out of that ear. And his bigger brother came along and went, When that man attended our program, that happened when he was 5, he is now 40 and he's deaf. If there's an earache and the ear makes a hole in the eardrum to let the pus out, that's not a problem, because if the body makes the hole, the body can heal it up again. So that story alone is enough to get all those Q-tips out of the home, am I right? Because, you know, it's not so much what you say, it's what you do that little children do, isn't it? Absolutely. So now let's go to the eyes. Amazing structure in the eye. If something were to come along and hit, we've got this bony structure here that protects the eye. Now, we've also got something else, and that's the eyelashes and thinking. That protects the eye. But if something happens to get in, like a bug, then the eye is surrounded with this mucus that the bug won't survive because it'll drown in the mucus. And if you go round and round the world with your eye, it'll move whatever went in there to the corner of the eye and you can pick it out. So there's a protection, quite a few protections there in the eye. What about the nose? The nose has little hairs in it, and the nose has it's like little caves in it, all these little caves. And if you breathe in air that has some dust on it, it's heavy. And so what it'll do, it'll ricochet around all the little caves until that dust falls off and lightens the air, and it'll go down into your trachea. Because you know we have 2 tubes coming down there. One's the trachea and one's the esophagus. Esophagus goes into the stomach and the trachea goes into your lungs. And even if something still gets in, there's little hairs. There's little hairs, and you'll cough up. So there's an amazing system in your lungs. But what I want to look at is the mouth. Now remember, mouth is for speaking, mouth is for singing, mouth is for eating, mouth is for drinking, nose, and nose alone is for breathing. But let's come back to the mouth. Let's say that someone eats something that has bacteria in it. Maybe someone's making you a sandwich and you didn't realise they just patted the dog and then they start making it. And you can't see these microorganisms. And you eat the sandwich not even knowing that it's got some bacteria there. Well, then it comes down into the stomach and there's another line of immune defence there called the hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid is very strong, and if one drop were to go on your hand, it would burn a hole in your hand. But God, in his wisdom and mercy, put a thick mucosal lining on the stomach. And that thick mucosal lining is 99% water. So a glass of water half an hour before the meal, one of the first things it does is it just thickens that mucosal lining. It's a line of defence. So your lining of your stomach basically looks like this. It's got big folds. And we're going to go on a journey through our gastrointestinal tract. I think that is the first lecture tomorrow night. And we'll be looking at this in detail. It's lined with gastric glands, and 2/3 of those gastric glands produce mucus. So there's a thick mucosal lining on the stomach. Now from these little glands here is released a few enzymes, but the enzyme we're going to particularly look at is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is antimicrobial. And do you know what that means? Hydrochloric acid can kill bacteria, yeast, funguses that may be on the food. Dogs have 10 times the hydrochloric acid of humans. Have you seen what they eat? My daughter, she lives in Wisconsin and she's on 7 acres, and their dog pulled a leg from a dead cow into the yard. Whew, did we know it? You could smell it. And the dog's eating it. We eat it, we die. The reason they don't die is they've got 10 times the hydrochloric acid that we humans have. So they can get away with it. I have never met anyone with too much hydrochloric acid. If someone says to me, I've got a very acid stomach, I say, fantastic, you must be digesting your food really well. And they look at me challenged. They used to say this a lot, too much acid, but you'll find they're saying it less and less because there's actually no such thing as too much hydrochloric acid. But many people